Kathleen Lewis lived a charmed life as a high-fashion model, successful international financier, and in 1995, a new mother. But how quickly her world changed when a doctor told her that her infant son Rex had a large cyst in his brain, was blind, autistic, and unlikely to ever walk or speak. Nothing in Kathleen's fast-paced world had prepared her for the shock of that revelation, nor the physical and emotional challenges that lie ahead. But deep within her soul, Kathleen somehow found the courage and audacity to believe that her beloved son was destined for greatness. All it would take is a miracle. That miracle came in the form of a piano. For by the tender age of 7, it had been made clear to the world that Rex was an extraordinarily gifted musical savant, able to play entire compositions by ear after just one listening, a talent historians often attribute to Mozart himself.
He's always teaching me lessons, and the most important being that I should never say never. It's just the beginning of amazing stuff to come, I know that.
Kathleen and Rex's ongoing, awe-inspiring story, proving that the impossible is possible with the power of belief, has been the subject of 60 Minutes on 3 separate occasions, something unprecedented in the show's history. On February 9, 2001, the USS Greenville, a naval submarine, was performing a demonstration for some civilian visitors off the coast of Hawaii. As the vessel executed an emergency surfacing maneuver, it struck a Japanese ship carrying high school students on a fishing trip.
We have a vessel that has had a collision approximately 9 miles south of Diamond Head, a commercial ship with a submarine.
Himemaru's stern went beneath the surface and then, within seconds, disappeared.
Within minutes, the ship sank, killing 9 crew members, including 4 students. Press coverage of the tragedy spread around the globe, but what followed was even more extraordinary. Scott Waddell, commanding officer of the Greenville, took sole responsibility for his actions and those of his crew. He took the stand during the Navy's Court of Inquiry and testified without immunity, knowing his words would be used against him in a courts-martial. In a time where CEOs and corporate executives are quick to blame others within their organizations for their shortcomings and failures, Commander Waddell demonstrated uncommon strength of character, integrity, and uncompromising ethical conduct in accepting responsibility for the actions of his crew. It's every parent's worst nightmare. Constance Curry's beautiful 13-year-old daughter, Christina, a shy but seemingly well-adjusted adolescent, found a bottle of liquor in a cabinet in the house. From that fateful moment, with her mother helplessly standing by, began a spiraling descent into the depravity of alcohol and drug addiction, prostitution, burglary, and violent rape, until her near death on the floor of a homeless shelter, completely alone at the age of 21. How Christina got from that moment to now, as a successful author and executive director of Full Circle Intervention, is the subject of the critically praised book, The Lost Years, co-written with her mother. Constance and Christina's story gives hope to countless families in crisis.
I think it is the ultimate story of forgiveness and redemption for one mother and her daughter.
Their continued work in addiction and family recovery empowers and inspires others to discover the power that comes from healing and ultimately redemption. Perhaps the most inspirational story of all time is that of Nanda Parado. For nearly 40 years, the world has marveled at his journey as a testimony of the enduring power of the human spirit, when on a fateful day in 1972, a charter plane carrying Parado, his rugby team, and several family members crashed deep in the remote snow-covered Andes. Given up for dead, the crash survivors endured 72 unimaginable days of starvation, frostbite, and even an avalanche that claimed 8 more lives.
If we stay here, we are dead. There's no way we can survive.
A young Nando Parrado decided he could no longer wait to be found, and with one of his teammates set off through the Andes, climbing step by agonizing step through the seemingly impassable 14,000-foot mountains, from Argentina to Chile, and to salvation and rescue for the remaining men. Their unthinkable ordeal became the subject of a feature film, several documentaries, and 2 best-selling books. Upon returning home, Parrado's teammates returned to lives that in many ways were unchanged. But his own life was filled with grief as the pain of losing his mother and beloved sister in the crash became a deeper reality. After years of searching to regain the life he knew, he found meaning in a family of his own, eventually returning to the crash site with his daughters because, as they believe, their lives began the day he decided to walk out of the mountains. Nando Parrado's journey remains one of the greatest examples of hope, persistence, and the sheer will to survive in recorded history, and reminds us that in life, each of us can face our own Andes, our own struggles, with strength and courage. Real power comes not from the ability to control, but the ability to inspire. For inspiration exists to change us, to move us, to bridge the gap between what we are and what we desire to be.